I want to bring back our guests. Peter Brookes is with us, Michael Pillsbury, and Joe Borelli. Michael, I'll start with you. Did we get some of the things that you were hoping that we would get from this meeting and from this press conference?
Yes, I think so, Charles. In fact, I think President Trump tonight has previewed some of his reelection themes for 2020. One of them is that he's very tough. He appreciates how Abe is a tough negotiator, he said, but he's also very tough himself, and he wants to bring more investment into the United States and increase American exports, even cutting red tape at the Pentagon, he said. Sometimes arms exports from our country take years, he said, and he wants to cut that to days. Then he had the other theme that he's going to do historic things in the summit with the North Koreans, but he's willing to walk out of the meeting. That struck me as one of the most dramatic points he said tonight, that if the meeting does not go well, he will respectfully leave. That's laying down a very strong negotiating position to the North Koreans. So that struck me, Charles, as his two themes. For reelect me in 2020, he's saying, because I get results on my campaign promises.
Peter, Shinzo Abe spent a lot of time discussing what he would like to see from these North Korean negotiations and obviously denuclearization, but he talked about intercontinental ballistic missiles, weapons of mass destruction. The abduction issue came up several times, and he talked about maximum effort and saying that President Trump in front of the world has just made a promise he would try to achieve all of those things.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was a very warm meeting. I think both leaders hit it out of the park. It says a lot about the future, the current state and future of the U.S.-Japan alliance, which I said is critically important, and that's political, it's military, and we're working on the economic side of this. But yeah, Japan has serious, significant interests in what happens in these North Korea talks. I mean, they are very much threatened by North Korea. North Korea considers them to be an enemy, just like North Korea considers the United States to be an enemy, and they won't be at the table. So I think, but it seems to me that Shinzo Abe feels very comfortable with President Trump going forward and helping represent Japan's interests at that table. And I think the president was sincere about bringing up those issues, those humanitarian issues that are of great importance to Shinzo Abe. And it was, I thought it was very interesting, them calling each other Donald and Shinzo. So there is a close personal relationship, and the president is right. You know, good relationships with between senior leaders can have a significant effect on a relationship. I mean, these people are the deciders ultimately.
You know, Joe, it's interesting. I found that Shinzo Abe adopted President Trump's, let's call it rhetoric, for lack of a better term, with respect to free, fair, and reciprocal trade. He used the term on several occasions, to the dismay, it appeared, of the Japanese press. What do you think?
Right. Reciprocal was the word of the weekend with President Abe, and I think President Trump is very happy he used that specifically. The administration is going to chalk up the fact that the tariffs led to Japanese going to a bilateral deal rather than staying with the TPP. That's going to be their victory, and I think President Abe is going to be very happy that President Trump publicly committed once again to both the abduction effort and the full denuclearization of the North Korean peninsula.
So, Peter, help us wrap this up then. Where do we go from here? And are you satisfied that this is set? I know you talked about the re-election campaign. I think those are fantastic points. But with respect to North Korea,
that's me. That wasn't Peter.
I'm sorry about that, Michael. We've only got 30 seconds left, though. The North Korean summit. How does this go from here?
Well, first of all, we got the South-North Summit coming up next week, Charles. We'll be back talking about that. We'll learn a lot there from that meeting. There's a lot of work that needs to be done at the staff level. The devil's in the details. And the president is very serious, and I think he's sending strong signals to North Korea that he'll walk away if you guys aren't willing to talk about the issues that are important to us.
Gentlemen, thank you all very, very much.